My name is Matt Lees, and it's my last day at VideogamerTV, and this is a video about Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, the DLC that's coming out in March. We recorded this video twice yesterday, and it went wrong both times, so in the end I decided to just come and run through it really quickly with some footage that won't match up as well. Anyway, what is it? It's an expansion. What does it do? Well, it sort of fixes all the stuff that was broken with Diablo 3 in the first place. Obviously, they're getting rid of the auction house prior to the launch, and they've got a brand new system called Adventure Mode. It basically allows you to go to any of the chapters in any order, do what you want. You've got these bounties, not the chocolate bars, the things where you've got to hunt people down for money. They're different. And you do the bounties, you do the jobs, you get stuff. Yeah, right. It's good. It's actually really good. Each act has 5 bounties, and sometimes it's to complete a side quest, sometimes it's to kill a boss. You finish these 5 bounties, and you get a Horadric cash. Horadric cash money, Mother Hubbard. Yeah, and that's basically like a magical treasure box full of awesome treasures. More importantly, though, you get a blue orb called the Nephilim thing, and you take it to the other Nephilim thing, and it opens up a portal to another world. This is a cool idea because basically what it does is it then creates one randomly generated dungeon instance, which you can then blitz through, kill all the enemies, and then when you kill enough enemies, it will summon a big boss monster, kill the big boss monster, and voila, you just got yourself some sweet, sweet loot. The idea of this is quite simple, is it means you can keep grinding the adventure mode, complete the bounties, earn these Nephilim orbs, and then you can basically go and do the instance. It's kind of cool, though, because it means you can't just do a Nephilim run whenever you want. You have to use an item that you have to earn. So it kind of encourages you to be like, hey, buddies, I've just got a Nephilim orb. Let's go, come and join my game, and we'll do it, and we'll do a run. And it kind of ties in well with the endgame stuff of Diablo 3. Not the endgame stuff in terms of, like, grind gold for days so you can buy something in the auction house, but the Nephilim buff, nether buff, whatever it's called, which basically meant that when you killed elite groups, elite monsters, you get a golden orb that would increase your Nephilim level, and that would allow you to get better drops and get more experience and kind of encourage you to kind of speed run it and get to the next group, kill them, and keep your multiplier going up and up. Kind of encourage you to just be this whirlwind of death, collecting increasingly better things. And it seems like this whole monster-filled, elite-filled sections in the Nephilim realm are completely tied into that kind of speedrun stuff. Quite cool, quite cool. Other stuff they've added are the ability to customize your armor, basically what it looks like. If you've played World of Warcraft, then this is pretty standard stuff. You can change the visual appearance of your armor. It's quite cheap, and there's quite a lot of options. It's all right. That element is not bad, but it feels like something that doesn't really feel like DLC. It feels like that's just an addition. In most games, that would just be something that would get patched in. Yeah, and the other, this enchantress can augment your weapons slightly. She can change some of the magical abilities. It's all right. It's not like amazing. Obviously, you've got Chapter 5, which is a brand new chapter. It's in West March, which is basically a big city full of people coming back to life as evil spirits. Obviously, it's not a bad little adventure. It's slightly longer than most other chapters in the normal game. Yeah, it's got bosses. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. My biggest complaint, really, with Diablo 3 is it doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Like, it's kind of ramped things up. Obviously, the first Diablo was just like, oh, there's a bloody dungeon under here. Wonder what's at the bottom of it. Oh my god, it's actually the devil. And then obviously Diablo 2 ramped it up with being like, oh yeah, there's loads of these bloody gods. There's bloody demonic gods everywhere. God, you're going to have to kill at least 4 of them. And then Diablo 3 was like, oh, heaven, hell, angels. God, it's kind of ramped it up so far now that Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls just feels intensely silly from start to finish. It just doesn't know what to do. It's like, oh, you're going to the land of the banished. You're going to hell again. I mean, yeah, Diablo 3 had you literally going to hell. You went to hell. How do you top that? You know, you're killing angels, and yeah, it's kind of got mega silly now. And especially the rate at which you plow through it, you're just like, oh, you cannot defeat this. Oh, well done, you've defeated the demon of this. There's something about the pacing of it that's just quite laughable. However, it's kind of cool that it doesn't take itself 100% seriously. Especially as going back to that kind of Nephilim instance things, there are some sections that are really fun, like this one I'm showing on screen now, which is it's kind of a throwback, callback to the secret cow level, I guess, from Diablo. And I like the fact that when you open these portals, these rifts, there are obviously some cheeky jokes in there in terms of what you might find behind these portals. You don't know what you might find. And I don't know how many of these things they've done, but it's kind of fun to see that it doesn't take itself quite as seriously as sometimes it appears to. You've also got the brand new Crusader class. He's basically a bloke with a shield who runs around. He's got an ability that makes him run around on a big ghost horse, which is it just makes me laugh. Don't know why. He's quite good. He's a good character. Yeah. It's kind of hard to know who this expansion's for, really, if I'm being completely honest. The original Diablo 3 already had quite a good selection of characters, and I've only played about 3 of them, I think. So the idea of getting a brand new character is like, well, I haven't played the other ones, so I probably won't play this one. And the same with kind of Chapter 5. It's a nice extra, but it doesn't feel like it's worth buying it for, especially because for me, like, Blizzard's done a thing, obviously, StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, it was worth buying for me. I didn't play the multiplayer much, but I loved the campaign. I know that StarCraft 2's story is schlocky sci-fi nonsense, but I can get into it. I can find a way to go along with it and kind of feel like it's real and enjoy it. But I can't do that with Diablo. I don't know why. I think it's just got to the point where I don't give a toss about any of the characters. It's like, I am the angel of... It's like, yeah, I don't... Whatever, mate. Let's just kill some more monsters. So it's like, well, if you're not buying it for the story, which I'm not, maybe you are, that's cool. What are you buying it for? Adventure mode is cool, but really, it's not exactly rocket science. It's basically... It doesn't even add new quests. It's just you doing some of the side quests that you did in the main campaign, but this time that's the specific bounty. And I like the pacing of it. I like adventure mode. It's more fast-paced. It allows you to jump around the world really easily. You just press M at any time. It brings up the world map, and you can just teleport to any location and start doing something else completely different. It's a lot of fun, but it kind of feels like something that could have just been an update. And I guess my biggest complaint about Reaper of Souls is the whole game very much feels like this. It has a different feel to Diablo 3. It feels like the game has been designed with different things in mind, and it's much, much, much better. But to me, it feels like this is the game that Diablo 3 should have been in the first place. And it feels like the decisions they've made around it, it's kind of hard because it's like, on one hand, I like it because it's a good game, but secondly, I kind of think, well, I've already spent money on Diablo 3. I don't know if I want to spend more money on this, because in my mind, this is what the game should have been like originally. And in terms of the extra content, it doesn't really feel like it justifies itself in terms of being a full expansion. And I don't know what I would have wanted, to be completely honest. I don't know what I would have wanted. I would say it probably would need to be another full campaign, which is obviously ridiculous. But yeah, in my mind, like, they sold me the expansion Heart of the Swarm with another whole campaign. With this, another bit of the campaign and some new modes and some tweaks. And they really have changed a lot of stuff. I mean, they've made it now so that when you get less treasure, but the treasure you get is much more likely to be usable by your current character. So I play a barbarian mostly, and it means I get loads of barbarian loot, which is great. But it kind of feels like a bit too little, too late. The adventure mode, it is cool, and I like the way they've tried to get around the fact that they've completely fucked up their own economy by having these new blood shards that you earn from playing adventure mode. You can use blood shards to buy random equipment that suits your level from a special new merchant in the hubs. That's cool. Basically means that you can earn loads of this new economy money and spend it in the hope of getting some sweet, rare treasure from this lady face. It's kind of good, but it kind of feels like too much of Reaper of Souls is about fixing the damage that was already there rather than adding new stuff. And I don't think I want to spend money doing that. However, there is icing on this shit cake. If you've never played Diablo 3, I'd recommend doing so. And I recommend waiting for this because I think that, well, it's pretty much a given that this is going to come out on consoles as a full kind of perfect version. You know, they'll probably call it like a heli good version. I don't even know what I'm talking about. They've definitely already announced this. I just can't remember exactly what it's called. But anyway, they're making it on the consoles. If you've got a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, particularly, because I've got to be honest, the 360 version looked like dick. I'd recommend holding out, getting this game. It's a great game to play with a controller. and you can play it 2-player couch co-op. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think as a whole package, when they've got this with Act 5, with Adventure Mode, as one whole game, as a fresh experience, I think this is going to be a great game. It's just one of those sad things that Diablo 3, when it launched, at the time people said this is an example of why you shouldn't buy games at launch, because of the fact that obviously it was always online and it didn't work. The servers were screwed, error 77 or 73 or whatever it was. Hell. However, in retrospect, the problem with Diablo 3 wasn't the fact that there were the servers and the server troubles. The problem with Diablo 3 was when it launched, it was not the game it should have been. And now, Reaper of Souls makes Diablo 3 the game it should have been. And I've spoiled that by buying the game when it came out, which in retrospect now is the equivalent to me of buying a game when it's in, I don't know, early access and spoiling the game because you play it when it's not finished. Obviously, that wasn't the way it was sold to me, or maybe the way it was sold to you. However, as I say, icing on the cake is that if you've never played Diablo 3, then when this expansion comes out, if you can get the whole thing as a reasonable price with the expansions, either on PC or just buying a thing on consoles, it's going to be a great game. It's just a shame that for people like me, it's kind of too late. And you should probably, as I said in my last video, play Path of Exile instead, because it's free, it's not as polished, it's not as shiny, sheeny nice, but it is a lot of fun. And if you're a hardcore kind of PC RPG gamer, you will love it. So yeah, if you've got a PC, play Path of Exile. If you've got a next-gen console, stop tearing your hair out because there aren't any games to play. It's your own fucking fault. You probably shouldn't have bought one before Christmas. You're mental. And get Diablo 3 Ultimate Hell Yeah Edition, which is probably coming out really, really soon. I've been Matt Lees, and I will continue to be Matt Lees. You can't change that. However, it is my last day at VideogamerTV. Hope you've enjoyed the videos. I will be continuing to do stuff. If you look in the link here in the bottom description, you'll find my Twitter. And I will be announcing some stuff about what I'm doing in the future very soon. Nothing that exciting, but I will be around. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you have a lovely day and that everything in your life continues to be wonderful. Bye!